Alrighty, hello everyone, and welcome to Eminence TV Live, our weekly rundown of competitive news and interviews. I'm Ashani, aka Jamaican Dude, and as always, I'm joined by the legendary, handsome other half, Scoots. Say hi, Scoots.
Hi, Scoots.
Well done. We'd like to thank our sponsors. Sponsor the Epic Store, with whom this wouldn't be so amazing. If you're enjoying Eminence content and would like to see more, please consider subscribing here on Twitch. If you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to one channel a month for free. We'd love if you consider using that on us. The Eminence Marketplace is now live at eminencemarket.com, one word. You'll find our latest merch, like our super cool playmats. Scott, show the people the playmat.
Ooh.
Sweet. And so yeah, playmats, other things. You can join our membership tier and our loyalty program, even through the Eminence Marketplace. And also Command Tower. Single player is now live on the Command Tower version 1.piece.
Excellent. Thank you for letting me know that. And now it's my turn to let you know some things. Number one, EDH.events is in beta, but aims to catalog all CEDH and EDH events tied to Command Tower, the preeminent tournament organization software. Now with 1v1, by the way, I know Sean said it, but I gotta say it again. Eminence profiles are part of Command Tower, and they are competitive player profiles that list your wins and losses and win-loss ratios, etc., based on any event that you participated in that was run through the Command Tower software, like maybe Punt City 2 or the upcoming Cookout. A little bit more about the upcoming Cookout. Well, first, a little bit about Cash Cards Unlimited 2. I believe it's Spring Fling? Cash Cards Unlimited 2 Spring Fling. June 3rd through 4th in Los Angeles, California at the Frank & Sons Gaming Expo. You should go there and win is it a Twister this year? Or go there. Go there and win a Twister. Entry is, I think it's $200 this year, and it's a Twister and many other prizes, including a Judge Wheel of Fortune, and I think there's a Gaia's Cradle as well. And then collector booster boxes of many hot ticket sets. Then the Cookout, July 29th through the 30th in Atlanta, Georgia. I will be there. Ashani will be there. A lot of people will be there, and it's going to be such a blast. I am looking forward to seeing a tournament-ready Atraxa deck participate and win an in-person event. That's what I would like to see out of the Cookout. I don't think it's going to happen. Wink. But I would like to see it. Windmill Slam, September 29th through October 1st, is in San Jose, California. We'd normally call it our illustrious return to California, but CCU kind of beat it to the punch, but it is in San Jose, California, and it'll be great. And I must also round out the announcements about dates and times with the fact that Mox Masters is back, and that is a collaboration between the fine folks at Playing with Power and us here at Eminence Gaming, and they're back. And May sold out, and the finals were incredible, and the casters on that were the best in the business. It was me and Ashani, just tooting my own horn for a second. Sales for June, I think, are on sale soon. That rhymed. Excellent. San Jose again, September 29th, October 1st. Yep. EDHtop16.com, by the way, is now live, which is amazing, and it is the first of its kind for CEDH and EDH tournaments. Empirical, data-driven analysis of tournament records and what the best deck might actually be, which is exciting. Command Tower is our tournament organizing software, and if you would like to be a part of the Command Tower family and use it in your shop for your tournaments, please go to eminencemarket.com. Memberships are $5 and up. As part of Command Tower, you want to reach out to contact at Eminence.events about this, but shop partnerships are live. Shops partner and sponsor a player or players in a main Eminence event by buying an entry. I think it's at a reduced cost for an Eminence event, and then putting that as the prize for your tournament. We reserve a certain amount of tickets for those shop partners in an effort to bridge the gap between large-scale event organization like Eminence and LGS-level scenes, because we want to support the community and its players wherever they happen to be, even if that's not Atlanta, Georgia in July. Everyone, thank you so much for putting up with those announcements. Today, we are joined, I should say, by Tyler from Commander Paradise, an EDH podcast. Tyler, say hello, and if everybody's been living under a rock for the last 3 to 4 months, tell them where they can find you on the internet and what you're all about.
Yeah, my name's Tyler. I run a podcast called Commander Paradise with my friend Ryan. Wherever you listen to podcasts, it's probably on there, like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts. Basically anywhere. If it's not somewhere, DM us. We'll add it on there. Yeah, we talk about all kinds of stuff. Kind of some goofy stuff like we do. I think our best episode is our Valentine's Day episode.
Okay.
Where we picked. We decided how good the top 10 commanders on EDH Rec would be as your Valentine's Day date. And I thought it was
I love that. I love that.
That one's super funny. But then we also do like some like just kind of like normal stuff. Like we talked about the color white, and we got an episode about blue coming out. We did an episode with like the rules committee where they talked their last big like update. We talked about that. So we talk about just kind of different things in the format depending on the day.
I saw an episode on Twitter being referred to as the Josh episode. Can you give me some insight into the Josh episode?
Yeah, so our friend of the podcast, his name's Josh. If you're into old school RuneScape, he is getting big on YouTube with old school RuneScape. But he was kind of the guy. He was the guy that got me into Magic. He got reintroduced Ryan into Magic. And so we wanted to have him on. And we just talked about all kinds of stuff. He's really into like editing, like word choice and like trimming down words and stuff like that in the text box themselves.
Yeah.
Sorry, come on, my cat's here.
It happens.
So we just talked about a bunch of different things, and we like ranked the commander mechanic. Lucy, come on. We ranked the commander mechanics by how intuitive they are, stuff like that.
Nice.
Just talked about words on cards for 2 hours. It was fun.
Nice.
So before we go on, I need to know what was the top 10 dates.
Actually, that's important. Like, we don't want to bury the lead on sending people to the podcast, but it would be cool if you could tell me who the hunkiest commander was.
Give us a tease.
I think it was Yuriko.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. It was Yuriko and Laughless were really, really good. And then the Dragon was really, really, really bad.
The dragon, Laughless?
The dragon.
Okay.
No, Dragon, and then or Lathril.
Lathril. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I could see how Dragon would not be a great Valentine's Day date.
Yeah, he's a little intense.
Yeah, he's very intense. I'm going to drop your link tree in the chat right now for those of in the chat who would like to go there. I know I, for one, will be adding you to my Spotify, so awesome.
Sweet.
Very cool. So you are available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, which I think are the few places where people tend to look. And then there's other podcatchers, which I'm sure you're on based on those. But awesome. So to talk about the podcast for a little bit, what got you all fired up to start podcasting about Commander and the various things that happen with it?
My co-host and I, we both went to school for audio stuff, so recording and mixing and stuff
Me
like
too.
that.
Yeah.
And we were, he just kind of asked me like, "Hey, do you want to just start a magic podcast?" And I said,
Nice.
"Sure." That was kind of it.
Nice.
It's mostly just because we know how to make a podcast. Not that we're like
Yeah.
overly qualified to be an authority about
Sure,
anything.
why
It's just
not?
we have the technology, so we just figured we talk about it, what we like about it. So it's just kind of two dudes just talking about what they like about Commander. It's not really um, anything formal or anything. It's just kind of
Mhm.
more like a hangout vibe. But which I think is kind of cool,
Yeah.
personally.
Definitely.
So,
Where'd
So
you go for audio?
we went to Capital University in Columbus,
Oh, okay.
Ohio.
All right.
Well,
Cool.
Bexley technically, but Columbus.
I went
so
to the New England School of Communications up in Bangor, Maine, for the same
Oh,
thing,
gotcha.
audio production. Cool.
Nice.
so gut check. What is your favorite commander?
Um,
Big
that's
question.
hard. I have a I like a bunch of commanders. I have
All right,
like
give me top five. Give me top five.
Okay, I could probably do top five. I really like Zimone and Dita. I just built them, and they're super dirtly. They're fun. Um, Falco Spara because he's also really dirtly.
Hmm.
Um, Osgear, the Reconstructor. Uh,
I was
what
scared.
else?
That's the Boris
Yeah,
one.
the
Yeah.
Boros
Yeah,
artifact guy.
artifact guy. Okay.
Yeah. The one that Martin
Um,
plays.
Yeah.
Marwin the Nurturer.
All right. Alrighty.
Sean,
Because
you just
Let's
made a
go.
friend.
yeah,
Awesome.
Marwin's super fun. I don't get to play that often because he's too strong, but he's super fun.
That's fair. That's fair.
I've won on turn 2 a couple times. It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Um, and then Ayara, first of Lock Twain,
Well, that's a cool deck.
the first Ayara from Eldrin.
Oh, I don't know that one. Okay.
She's cool. It's just kind of like standard mono black, but it's fun.
Ooh, like mono black storm or mono black control.
It's like
It's
aristocrats, probably.
Yeah, it's like
Oh,
Yeah.
aristocrat.
aristocrat. Oh,
Yeah.
It's
that's even
very
better.
casual. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
casual deck. It's like just whenever a black creature enters, each opponent loses life and you gain a life, and then you can tap her to sack your creature to draw a card.
Oh, that sounds
So
super cool.
yeah, and she kind of has a 1-card win con with Feast of Vermin, I think,
Okay.
some lore win card.
I thought it would
Um,
be what's that enchantment that's
No.
used to play?
Yeah, not
Whenever you
Sanguine
gain a life,
Bond or
sanguine
yeah.
bond, yeah.
yeah,
Not a sanguine bond combo line. Okay, okay.
yeah,
So cool.
she's pretty fun.
Awesome. So, my only casual commander deck is Jaxus, the Troublemaker, mono red stuff.
Nice.
It's a 7, obviously, as all casual
Obviously,
commander decks
yeah.
are. But Ashani, do you play casual commander?
So before I got into CDH, I used to love aristocrats
Mhm.
type decks. So anything with like grave pact shenanigans, or so I played. I think it was Ailey, the white black commander,
Yes, you
where
did.
you pay 50 life or some obnoxious thing to exile a permanent. Yeah, so I really like those. I don't know if you want to call Omnas casual, but
It's a 7.
it's a 7, sure.
It's a
I'm gonna
7.
can be casual.
It's red.
It
It was
can be.
not. It was not. I will tell
really
you, I
was.
remember that Omnath deck. It was in a time where both me, Sean, and our friend Tim all played red green Omnath, and they were all like just fringe enough that we probably could have beaten people at CEDH tables with
Yeah.
them. And they were so busted that our friend Tim stopped playing Omnath and started playing Ravages of War in every deck.
Oh no,
Yeah, it was pretty tough times,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
it was
that's an
fun.
arms race for sure.
Armageddon,
That's-
Ravages of War, Mono White. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I still until this day try to find a way to play Reanimator CDH, but it doesn't work sadly. But yeah, I do love Reanimator Aristocrat strategies.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So casual magic is a thing that I think a lot of CEDH players would really enjoy, because in CEDH there is a focus on like a fairly refined card pool and fairly repetitive game actions that always lead to kind of the same end state, because the end goal is to win. But when I sit down and play a game with like Jaxis, I can I took the Kiki Jiki out, so there's no Kiki combo, but I can like sit there and make 5 coercive recruiters. I can make like 5 coercive recruiters a turn and then keep bopping people, but there's always like a different pattern. You can do the worm coil engine or the coercive recruiters and everything dies. It's always a different way to get to the victory. And I think that is like the big draw for casual Commander for me. But I also think that there is like a subset of casual Commander that plays like refined win cons. They just aren't as fast as CEDH win cons. You were mentioning like Marwyn. So can you tell us about, you mentioned you had a turn 2 win. Can you tell me about that turn 2 win a little bit?
Yes. It involved just some sort of untapping. So I got I had a it may have been turn 3 now I'm thinking about it, but it was like pretty early for a casual game. And it was just get Marwyn out, and then I played some elves, and then I had like I think either Curian Ranger or Wirewood Symbiote, something like that, to get her untapped. And then I got her. I was able to just keep untapping her and got the infinite mana. And then I didn't have a win con, so I just drew. I had like a big green draw spell. Hey, come on.
Like
I had
a Regal
green,
Force or
draw
something.
spell. Yeah. And then I drew into Azuri, and then that was enough that I just dumped all the mana into Azuri, and then I won.
I will tell you, what you have just described is the Selvella WinCon in 2019. It was Azuri, Claw of Progress, big green mana. Yeah. It is cool. It's like it's so you play some of the same WinCons, you just kind of get to them in a different way, which is cool. I know that I have CEDH friends that I love to play Commander with. I think the biggest struggle for CEDH players and Commander is deck building and deciding and like assessment of what is too busted and what isn't, because when you're always playing at 11, it's kind of hard to turn it down, scale it back. So my question for you, and this is kind of a nebulous, wide open question, so feel free to answer in as much or as little detail as you would like. But if you because you play a lot of CEDH yourself, if you if someone was looking to go from CEDH and gravitate more towards casual Commander, what are some things you would tell them to stay away from in their deck design?
The big thing is like to me is like staples, because like the busted staples are like what really drive up the power in Commander. Like if you like Ristic Study, all like the free counter spells, the fast mana, even Mana Crypt, like I would just don't put any fast mana in your decks for sure. If you're trying to like stay really casual, and like my play group, we banned Soul Ring because it was like we're really low power. And just like turn 1 Soul Ring and Arcane Signet was like ruining games, and we just got rid of it, and we haven't missed it. It's just like, because some games you just never see a Soul Ring, and it's just like the same thing. So we don't miss it. So.
Soul Ring is arguably one of the more powerful cards ever printed in the game of Magic, and it's like $1.50. It's just because
it's ubiquitous.
Yeah, it's in every precon. It's the poster child of Commander. This was actually I'm referencing a moderately anonymous MTG tweet from the other day where they posted basically that Soul Ring is one of the more powerful cards ever printed, and it's like $1.50.
Yeah.
And the Bufftown Bullies in the chat, I think, are actually doing a budget CEDH tournament. I believe it's this weekend, and they have house band Soul Ring because
really?
It accelerates one deck at the table of 4 so much ahead of the other decks at the table.
My question for you before we change the topic, or maybe we can, with all the new like commanders printed recently from Marshall Machines, what are you excited of building? I saw those Tom deck, the 5-color Tom, the 5-color Saga deck. So thought that would have been a cool, maybe cool casual build. Yeah, it's I don't remember the complete name of it, but it's 5 colors. You can play a saga whenever the saga last chapter triggers. You reveal on the top of the deck until you find another saga. You put it into play.
It's
Tom Bombadil.
Tom Bombadil from the Lord of the Rings set.
There you go. I thought that was so cool. I was like, whoa. I was like, so what are you like looking forward to building?
I just built Zimone and Dina. They're super fun. And they got some combos and stuff too, which is cool.
Is it a Hulk deck? Please say yes.
No, I don't have a Hulk deck. It's a dirtly landfall deck. It's a Simic deck. It's a Simic land deck with just some black cards in it. Basically.
Okay, that's fair.
But it's like win with like a Kodama the East Tree and like a Ravnica bounce land and just make infinite like landfall triggers and then with tokens to make infinite Scoots Swarms or something like that, and you just stack them all and then kill with a Dual Port Third or something. That's fun.
Nice.
Fair enough. I was hoping maybe it would be a Hulk deck, but that's okay.
You might be able to, but I don't know what you would tutor for.
I mean, if I sat down, I could figure it out because it's Sultai, right?
Yeah, it's Sultai, yeah.
Yeah. We could figure out some Hulk lines, but yeah, I saw that was a definitely cool one. The Tom and a lot of people, even in CDH, is building the that deck that you're currently playing. I don't know how they're building it, but
yeah, I believe it's a Hulk deck. I think.
Is it a Hulk deck? Okay.
Yeah, you're talking about Emmett and Kai's Beowulf and Chuck Cheddar. Yeah,
because they're a sacrifice outlet, so you can instantly kill it.
Yeah.
You can tap it to sacrifice a creature, right? Draw a card. Yeah.
Anything else on your radar other than the Zerda Simone?
For casual, the new Pia Nalar console something.
Yep.
It's because it's a 2-mana commander. It's a white and a black, and then Thopters you control have haste, and then whenever you cast a spell from exile or play a land from exile, you make a 1/1 Thopter. So it's just like
nice.
It's like Prosper, but instead of treasure, it's just you make a 1/1 flyer. And I just think it'd be so fun to do like just Exile Storm and just make a bunch of 1/1 flyers with haste, and then play like an Eldrazi Monument or like an Akroma's Will or something, and then just like blast the table.
Yeah,
it'd be fun.
Did you one that looks really cool to me, and I think it is probably like close to CEDH, is the new Rona Herald of Invasion. The new when you cast a legendary spell, untap Rona, and then so you like draw a discard, and I think there's like a combo with like a Mox, like a Mox and Displacer Kitten or whatever. Yeah,
because whenever you cast a legendary spell, you untap her, and then you just need something that can return Mox Amber to your hand.
Yeah. That seems cool.
There's actually,
it's like not Banishing Neck, but what's the one? It's like one blue Retraction Helix. That's what I'm thinking of. That's the one. Yeah.
There's actually a new deck in Pioneer right now. I don't know if it's gonna stick around, but people are playing it.
Nice. That's cool.
Like her Tyvar, the new 3-mana Tyvar, Mox Amber.
That Tyvar has been popping up in so many different places.
Tyvar is
It's pretty
Tyvar's a
good.
nutty card. Tyvar's a nutty card. Like if we, like, I'm waiting to see it. I've tried to I tried to put it in Hermit Druid, like CEDH Hermit Druid, to test it, and it's really cool. Oh, Sponta's telling me that Banishing Knack is the same card as Retraction Helix. Thank you. But that new Tyvar, I've noticed friends playing it in their casual decks, and it's kind of busted that you just like resolve a Fabro Elder and then have a ton of mana immediately.
Yeah, it's really good.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah, I've been seeing it. I think it gave, at least for the CDH level, it gave 5 colors to say a big power up.
Yeah, 5 colors.
I've been seeing it like, oh, here's this. Here's the battlefield, and you're like, oh, okay, you're just dead out of nowhere. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's what about pulling it in Hermit Druid too. I would try it.
What's the other legendary that's been kicking my butt lately? Sheoldred? Sheoldred the Apocalypse?
Yeah, that card's annoying.
I'm so tired of people casting Peer into the Abyss targeting me with Sheoldred the Apocalypse out on the historic ladder. I want to do it to someone in a casual game. It seems like it'd be a lot of fun.
I was playing Mono Red in Pioneer, and I was really liking it. And then Shieldred came out, and I was like, well, that's over. We can't do that anymore.
Yeah, I switched to Black Red Reanimator in Historic. I want to do the same in Pioneer. It seems a lot of fun, but yeah. But cool. Yeah, Shieldred is it's a beating.
Yeah.
Beating.
It's a crazy card.
It seems so
maybe
cool.
It'll see banned and
Tyler froze, everybody. Technical difficulties. Tyler, are you still here? Ashani, are you still here? It's not my internet. Okay, Tyler's back.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey.
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. He disappeared for a second. We're back. All right, very cool. So kind of moving away from commanders that we'd like to build, because the list is like pretty long for me. Like the Elish Norn is really cool. The double Elish Norn stuff with like, okay, you play a Panharmonicon and Elish Norn, and then you Skyclave Apparition. Come on.
Oh my goodness.
So good.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But that seems really cool. However, I'm curious. Another thing that I'm curious about for like CEDH players trying to build casual EDH decks is, do you, in your play group, do you all have kind of a baked-in budgetary restriction, or are there decks that are like significantly more expensive than the other decks at the table?
It's an unspoken thing.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of everyone else. Like, we have an open, you can proxy whatever you want policy, but no one really does it, and people just kind of build the commanders they want to, like whatever random commander they want to build, and then people just end up buying cards, and people don't spend as much money as I do. I just spent too much money on this game. And so I'm normally the one that's the dumb down, drop my decks down in power, but I do that in the building process. Mostly. And I mostly just stay away from all the staples. Like, like I have one Smothering Tithe, and it's in one deck, and it's only in that one deck. I don't put it in every single white deck, which you should technically for power do that, but I have it in like a token sacrifice deck.
Okay, yeah.
So I need tokens.
Yeah.
So it's there. I have one Fierce Guardianship, and it's only in my Spellslinger deck, you know?
Yeah.
And that helps me dumb down my power a lot. Also, I get to see a lot more cards.
Yeah.
But it's, for our play group, it's like an unspoken thing. It's just kind of how it happened. It's not like we haven't said only $500 budget. But I would say sticking to, because one thing we did like a secret Santa kind of thing, like a deck exchange.
Yeah.
And so we all like everyone picked a color combo, and then we just like swapped names, and then we had a budget of $100,
Nice.
and then we just proxied the decks. So just printed out cards, and so the decks themselves were like $10.
Yeah.
But sticking to like everyone plays the same budget definitely makes a pretty equal power.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because you can only stick so many really high power cards in there
Yeah.
on a budget. But that's definitely a good way to do it. If you want to power down your decks, definitely just pick a number and say I can't go over this number.
How do you feel about casual decks but with perfect mana base? Because I know there's some players who play that way. Like, okay, I don't have the crypt, I don't have fast mana, but I'll
You have
make
10
sure
fetches, 10
I
shocks,
have
and 10
fetches.
duels. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Is that
I almost do that. I proxy. I have like one of each shockland, and I just proxy them. I have shocklands in
Yeah.
all my decks. And then I don't run off color fetches, but I have all the on color fetches in all my decks just because of choice. I don't know. That's what I've done.
The way Richard Garfield
and
intended.
yeah. But yeah, I think it's smart. I don't know. It's definitely because like even like OG duels, like they're not that powerful. Like they're just the best duel land, but just having perfect mana is like diminishing returns. It does make your deck more powerful, but it's like that's not what's gonna win you a game, especially in the casual. I mean, if you're like rushing to like Thoracle, like having perfect mana is super important. But if you're like trying to win with Kodama and a bounce land on turn 8, like it doesn't matter if you have perfect mana. I just do it because I can, and I just don't. I like having all access to all my colors.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not really that big of a deal. I say do it if you can.
No, I've definitely lost to 5C slivers with the 10 shock, 10 duel, 10 fetch type.
It is different with
base.
5 color. Yeah. It is really powerful with the more colors you go. That's fair.
Yeah.
It seems like there is. I mean, I for one know that our buddy Tim over at CEDH Budget Brews has a really good like mana base template, so you can definitely put together really excellent mana bases on very little money. But you can also, if you have the cards, why not use them? I mean, that sounds fun. You mentioned that your group has an open proxy policy, and I'm curious. Are you finding with other players of casual EDH that proxies are starting to fly? Because like in CEDH, my CEDH deck has I think like 16 real cards in it. Yeah. So I don't know if the attitude is becoming the same towards proxies as it is in CEDH and casual EDH, but what are your thoughts on that?
Maybe I'm being a little shady about it, but I just don't tell people that I have proxies. Like this is a proxy, and like just looking at it, you can't really tell, And like I'm not like it's just a piece of paper on a card, I'm not trying to sell fake ones, So I don't care. And I just like if you're proxying to pub stomp people, sure that sucks, but that's not what I'm doing. I'm proxying because I just wanted to play the deck, and I didn't have time to build it or go buy all the cards. There's 100 cards I need to buy.
Right,
so,
like
I mean, because the people that have problems with proxies have gotten pub stomped, and they're like, "Well, you're just gonna proxy Mana Crypt and destroy our face," and so that's a power level issue. That's not a proxy issue.
This is one of my commanders. It just says, "This is Akiri" on it.
Nice. Very good.
So that I am of the mind that proxies are in fact a boon to play groups because they let people test whatever they want. Like there's plenty of busted cards that you can't find in the bin at your shop or whatever, but there's also like what am I thinking of? Like Fanatic of Mogus or whatever that like it's not always in the binder. It's not like a game breaking card, but it is.
I just can't find it.
Something you want to play, you can't find it. I like that. I like that. I like that kind of policy. And I also, I think I have a gemstone caverns or whatever that is a proxy, and it doesn't look like a magic card, but I don't volunteer that it isn't a magic card. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, like I've gone to my local game store and I like my decks are like probably 50% proxies, like
Yeah.
most of my shocks and like just like random cards. I couldn't find a card, so I just print it,
Mhm.
and I don't say anything. No one's ever said anything to me.
Yeah.
And I just match power. If you, as long as you're matching power level, because that's the big sticking point with casual commander and like the
Mhm.
weird thing. Like if you watch, like I don't know if you're ever on the EDH, like the EDH subreddit.
Yeah.
It's just like there's so much discussion about like what's the appropriate power level. Like trying to like tailor your game experience is
Mhm.
such a weird thing in casual commander that
Yeah.
still hasn't been solved yet. I don't think. Like we've gotten
No.
close. It's like we made ground. Was like, okay, everyone have a rule zero discussion. But
Yeah.
but what does that mean actually? It's like, and then because people say, oh, it's a 7, or oh, I don't run any combos, but then they mana crypt out some crazy stuff in the play creator hoof on turn 4. It's like, okay, well, that's basically a combo. The game's still over real fast.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
like I don't play infinite combos, but here's a hard lock on turn 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've met
yeah,
people like that.
Draneth Magistrate Uba Mask.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
yeah.
No
Thanks.
combos, but
Thanks for
enjoy
that.
this. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Absolutely. I think it's so hard to find that line unless you've just been doing it for a long time. Like,
mhm.
well, my first in-person commander experience in the entire world was a 2017 Cats pre-con
Oh yeah,
that
I bought that deck.
I put like $20 into to get like a Felidar Sovereign or whatever, like it's a few extra cards. And a person was sat down at the card shop. Person was like, "Yeah, I've got no infinite combos in my deck and no mana crypt and turn 1 Entomb Reanimate Elish Norn." I was like, "Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I can't actually play the game anymore. I'm going to go get pizza." That was my
Yeah.
first commander experience ever. Coincidentally, also the experience that got me wanting to try to play Busted Magic because I thought it was really cool.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think it's so hard to balance power levels. So I think another
It's
thing
super hard.
that CEDH players need to do that I think casual players do extremely well is find a playgroup of like-minded individuals. It seems to me that, at least in my experience, I can go to the shop on Friday night and see the same 4 people always in the corner playing a casual game of Commander, and they seem to have the best rapport in the entire world, and they're like guys that met at the shop. And I feel like CEDH players, probably due to the nature of the decks being so expensive, they like don't bring extra decks to the store for people to use and try out. But that's largely because of differences in like proxy acceptance in communities. But I think CEDH players. You can quote me on this, everybody watching. CEDH players intentionally and purposefully handicap themselves in social interactions because they just don't like. They don't bring a deck like a second deck. I think, and this is not like a monetary thing, because if you're playing CEDH for no money and no entry fee in a shop, just bring a deck full of proxies for someone to try. But I think
Yeah.
casual players overall tend to bring like multiple decks to the store and like have stuff to lend out, and that lends itself to more quickly finding a playgroup. So on the topic of finding a playgroup, how did you find yours? Are you just all friends? I know you went to school with one of your co-hosts. Are they in
Mhm.
are they in one of your play groups? They're in your play group, and then how'd you meet the rest of the people? Just people you grew up with, or
No, these are all dudes I just went to school with.
nice,
We all went to Capital together, and then I just said, "Hey, I'm playing Commander. You're all gonna play Commander with me." And then we all
nice,
just kind of started playing. So it's
nice.
like just 7 of us. We were already friends, and then we started playing Magic
Oh, that's cool.
together. So yeah.
That's cool.
So it's definitely it would be harder if you don't have that. Like having it like a dedicated pod of people,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
power balance is definitely hard.
Yeah.
And that's like kind of like a cool thing about CEDH. It's like just it's like, oh, you're playing CEDH. Like just that word means
Yeah. It's
so
everything.
much. It's like
Yeah.
we've
Yeah.
all looked at the CEDH database. We all have some sort of idea of what this is. And either
Yeah.
we're playing one of those decks, or
Yeah.
we're based on this deck, or we've absorbed this that we all know. We all know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Um,
was my big thing also. It was like, what is the perfect balance? My first game of um just Commander itself was at a shop, and I was like, okay. And then someone just played a turn one Narset and started taking the next 45 minutes, taking a lot of turns. And
mhm.
they're like, oh, okay. I'm like, we weren't playing for packs. It was just a casual game. And I'm like, is all this like you if you have like-minded people, yes, but there's always someone who's going to be upset about the power level of what someone's power level said. Like, oh, my deck is a 5 but it feels like a 9,
Yeah,
or yeah. So it's like CD just got all of that argument out of the way, and we're like, we're all playing to win. We're all, no matter how you do that, if you enjoy stacks or you enjoy combo, whatever you do,
Yeah.
we all agree that we're going to try to do the most broken thing to win the game.
Hmm.
And I think that was a big thing, at least for me. But still, casual is still fun. I like theme decks like chairs and
yeah,
yeah, those are pretty funny and
Ladies
cool.
looking left.
yeah.
Yes, like just
Those
building
are classic.
casual theme decks is awesome. Or spicy uh flavor text of all the cards, like build a flavor text card. I don't know. Maybe I should build a casual deck again.
Maybe you should. Yeah.
You
Maybe
should.
you should.
It's fun.
It is
Fun.
fun.
Yeah.
I agree.
Build Leave. Oh no, that's spent. Never mind. Can't build Leovold.
Yeah,
Yeah. So at
he'd
the
be a good chair commander. That's true.
Leovold
Yes.
is, yeah, I mean, he's sitting in a chair. He's huge mistake. Not allowing him for chair tribal only.
Only, yeah.
Only
No
we need a
wheels.
yeah, we
Only
need a
chairs.
chair tribal exemption for Leovold. Towards the end of every show, we like to do a thing we call the lightning round, where it's just a few little questions about like you, and then one question that I ask every guest that is a secret that you'll hear at the end. The first question is for everybody who tuned in towards the second half of the broadcast, or who has still been living under a rock. Who are you? Where are you from? Content wise, and where can people find you on the internet?
Yeah, my name's Tyler. I run a podcast called Commander Paradise with my friend Ryan. Wherever you listen to podcasts, you can find us there, most likely. Mostly about casual Commander, sometimes goofs and gaffs, sometimes just general Commander topics. I think it's a pretty good podcast. I like our stuff a lot. My roommate, who doesn't even play Magic, listens to it like every week, and he says he enjoys it. So
Nice, love that.
maybe he's just being nice, but
Uh, maybe, but maybe he's not. Maybe you gotta. Those roommates are wily. Um, the second question I like to ask everybody is excuse me, what is something other than Magic the Gathering that you're currently excited about?
I just got the new Zelda game, and that game is awesome. It's super good. Um,
You built any
they
extraordinarily long bridges yet?
Yes, yeah, I've
Okay,
done a couple
excellent.
super long bridges. I made some weird contraptions. Um, Also, just the rewind tool is really cool because you can really like just mess stuff up. Like big dudes will throw like a bomb at you, and you can just stop it and shoot it right back at them,
Nice.
or stuff like that. So it's really good. So, and I just beat Jedi Survivor.
Oh,
That game was
cool.
awesome.
Cool. I really
Yeah.
liked what is it? Jedi Outcast, the first one, or what is
Or
it?
Fallen Order.
Yeah, Fallen Order. Yeah, I liked that one. That was good.
Yeah, the new one's really good. They did
Awesome.
some cool lore stuff. I'm a big Star Wars guy, so I
Oh,
like.
you're the big Star Wars guy. Okay, all right, all right.
Yeah,
Okay. Wow. Okay. This is. I just want to show you the back of my phone. It's Grogu. Okay, that's all.
yeah. I got this. I got it tattooed on
That's
my
sick.
body.
That's sick. I love that. Let's talk Star Wars sometime.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is the last question that I will ask you during this interview is as follows. Tyler from Commander Paradise, the podcast, available everywhere podcasts are found. What is the sexiest soup?
Oh, soup.
Yeah.
Hmm. Probably like a wedding soup.
Like an Italian wedding?
Yeah, that's like a
Okay.
light soup, right?
All right. Yeah.
Because it wouldn't be like a chowder. Like chowder's like no,
I don't
no.
think it can
Yeah,
be
it's
a
gonna be like
chowder. I don't think the word chowder can be
no.
sexy.
Yeah. So it's got to be like a light brothy soup.
Mhm. All right. That's a good answer. Well, from all of us here at the Eminence TV live show, thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. We will see you same time next week, same channel next week, barring catastrophic events. I have been Scoots. I have been joined by Tyler from Commander Paradise, and as always, my extremely handsome, very likable, permanent U.S. resident friend, Ashani, aka the Jamaican dude. Have a good week, y'all. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.